So break time is over. Now you know about break, you know about while loops, you know about if to make decisions. You know everything you need to finish the goal of today's unit, which is to write the code for extracting all of the URLs from a web page. So first, let's remember what we were doing before. We had the code that kept repeating to get one link after another. So we had code like this. We had finding the start link, and we assumed before entering this code that page has the contents of some web page. And we would search for the start of a link. Then we would find the start quote, again using find, but this time passing in the start of the tag and searching for the double quote. And then we would find the end quote. And then we would extract the URL using the string selection, selecting from page, from the start quote to the end quote. Then we would print out the URL. And this was what we needed to do for one URL. And then we would continue by advancing the page to go from where we found the end quote to the end. And then we would do all the same thing again to find the next URL. And we could keep doing this code over and over again, finding as many URLs as there were on the page. So here's the code, shrunken down just so we have some more space. And what we want to do is extract into a procedure this part. And then we want to make it so we can keep going. And we've seen while loops give us a way to keep going. So we'll end up writing a while loop that keeps looking for links until we reach the end of the page. So the first thing we're going to talk about is how we extracted this procedure, and we're going to need to make a few changes to it to make it work well in our while loop. We defined a procedure, getNextTarget, that takes the page as an input, and essentially had exactly the code we had here, except for at the end, it would return both the URL and the value of end quote. And we had a quiz earlier where you determined that what getNextTarget should do is return both the URL and the end quote. That is the position where the end of the quote was found. So we needed this procedure to return two values because we need to know both the URL as a string and where to continue looking for the next target. We haven't yet used a procedure that returns two things, but it's actually quite convenient and simple to do this. We can do this by just having two values on the left side of an assignment statement. This works in general, so we can do, instead of our simple assignment rule, where we had a name followed by an equal, followed by an expression, and that would assign the value of the expression to name, we can have multiple names on the left side and multiple expressions on the right side. So we can do multiple assignment, where we have any number of names separated by commas, an equal sign, and then any number of expressions also separated by commas. As long as the number of names and the number of expressions match, what happens is the value of the first expression is assigned to the first name. So this name will now refer to whatever this value was. The value of the second expression is assigned to the second name. So as an example, if we had A, comma B equal 1, comma 2, this would assign to A the value 1 and to B the value 2. So in order to get the two values returned by this procedure, what we need is to have two variables on the left side and the procedure call on the right. So the syntax we'll use is just the URL. We'll use that as the variable to hold the URL, and endPos, we'll use that as the variable to hold the end position. And then on the right side, we have getNextTarget, passing in page. And since this returns two values, it's like listing two expressions. The first value returned will be assigned to URL. The second value returned will be assigned to endPos. Being able to have multiple variables on the left side of an assignment is very useful. Let's have a quiz to see an example of why.